These are my favorite taupe eyeshadows. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today we're going to be chatting about my favorite taupe colored eyeshadows. And there's a lot because we all know taupe is like my favorite neutral to wear in like every sort of item you can imagine. Not just eyeshadow, but also in clothing. I don't look really good in a beige. I'm not like it. Grays I can pull off, but when it comes to like the neutral, like sort of what can fall within a brown category, most of it is far too yellow or too reddish toned against my skin tone. I like taupes because they very often have a blend of a brown and a gray in them, often with other colors in the mix, like a greeny tone or maybe like a slightly purpley hue. Some taupes can be a little bit more golden toned. And today I'm going to be showcasing 18 taupe eyeshadows, and I'm going to swatch all of them for you as we're doing the video. So at the end of this video, I hope you have a good overview of what can be out there. Some of the options I will be sharing with you are singles. Other things are from my palette collection, depending on what you might prefer or what you might already have lying around. Some things may be discontinued. Some things may be a little bit more expensive to buy. And then again, other things may be a little bit more affordable. So I hope there is a giant array here of all things taupe that if you were looking for something, you can get something out of it. Either to go back to it in your own makeup collection or to consider it if you were looking into what to buy next. So what may be good to know is my love for taupe is very well documented on this channel. I've done several of these videos over the years. However, as my makeup collection changes and things just also become no longer available, I've had to pivot quite a bit, which is where actually my first favorite comes from. This is from my makeup memory box. I had to dig this out of the bottom of it. This is no longer even a brand, but this is the eyeshadow that made me realize how much I love a taupe eyeshadow. It's by Burberry, and this is a single. It's in the shade Rosewood. They also did a shade called Pale Barley that everybody and their mother was loving. But I decided to pick this one up because it went a little bit better with my complexion. And this is more of a satin. I don't think this would do all that well anymore, but you can see the nice little dent I have in there. This has seen actual use. And this is sort of in my brain still till this day, the taupe eyeshadow that I hold all other taupe eyeshadows to. I do have to say, though, that my preferences have changed, especially when it comes to singles. I like a taupe that is a shimmer, more so than a matte. I will have one or two matte options for you in here as well. But here is what the Burberry in Rosewood looks like. This has a slight, like, pinky purple to it. It's a really pretty neutral shade for me. And it's more of like a satin finish. And I just love it. I feel like the taupes in the Lisa Eldridge Vega palette are really similar to this. I have a Dior palette that has shades like this in it. So I didn't even like bring everything up here because I wanted to narrow it down a little bit. But I have more taupe eyeshadow than just this, just so you know. Now, if you're into your singles, then building your own palettes can be a good thing. I've just managed to reorganize all of my singles. That video, I did film the entire process for you, but you're going to have to sit tight because I filmed that and it's going to be up in April. But what I've decided to do is to put all of my neutral shimmers into the same palette. I think this looks gorgeous, and it has some of my favorite taupe shades in. This is how much I love this eyeshadow, because if you look at this, you might think, how can you even tell things apart? And yet, the minute I opened this palette, and I've just reorganized it, so I kind of have to like look for things a little bit, I instantly knew that this is Tiara by Sydney Grace. Like, instantly. I just knew it. I instantly picked it out. I was like, that's probably the one that I'm looking for. And this has been one of my favorite taupe eyeshadows in my makeup collection ever since I bought it. This pulls a little bit more golden toned compared to other things that might be taupe. So this is great if you are a little bit more warm toned and maybe you want to like try a taupe and you're not too confident whether it will look right on you, because it has this really beautiful mix of a slightly like golden tone brown, but it's not bronze. It has gray, and then it has this really beautiful reflect. Like, this is so high shine on the, like, this is how it translates to the lids. This is buttery smooth, but it's not completely unwearable. I'll get to some more like flaky, glittery things if that's your jam as well. But this, I think, is going to look beautiful no matter what skin type you have. Sydney Grace's eyeshadows are some of the highest performing ones I personally have in my makeup collection. It's why like most of my singles are actually from Sydney Grace that I keep in these palettes, because I just love them that much. And then I do want to select one more shimmer from this palette, and it's the one over here. It's called Shroom, and it's by Clionadh. And I'm really sad to say that Clionadh's round pans don't really seem to be a thing anymore. They do have a couple on the website the last time I checked, but Shroom is a little bit more gray leaning than Tiara is, I feel. I hope my camera focuses on this little pan. I think this is a little bit better if I hold it a little bit further away. But yeah, this is beautiful. It's another one, like I can tell from what the surface of this eyeshadow looks like that I've used this quite a bit. And whenever I do like a BYOP, I'm always selecting this eyeshadow. It's absolutely gorgeous. Ooh, this looks very, like almost bronzy pink compared to Tiara. So it's a very different undertone. Like when I swatch all of these together, you're really going to be able to see all the different undertones together. But this is the most similar actually to Burberry Rosewood. It just has more shine. It doesn't have as much shine as Tiara. Like Tiara is, it feels like a satin. There's no glitter there, but it's that impactful in its shimmer. It's amazing. I don't know how Sydney Grace got that done. But yeah, Shroom is another one that I really, really enjoy. And I kind of, as you will see in a sec, it seems to be the case that if something is called like Shroom or Mushroom or something like that, those are the kind of shades I gravitate towards the most. Another one that I love, and this is one of the very few mattes, is this one. This is again by Sydney Grace. This is called Concrete Road, and I just love this. Again, whenever I've done BYOPs and I'm looking for a good crease shade, this is the one I go for because it's perfect. It has a little bit of a purple to it almost. It's not too brown, it's not too gray. It's that perfect sort of in between, but I do think this is the most gray tone thing we've seen so far. Yeah, definitely. So this is just to show you like what kind of spectrum you can have when it comes to a taupe shadow, especially because it's not like fully brown or fully gray. It can have all these different undertones, and that's why I like it so much. And because it does have the gray in it, for me, with a like neutral to cool skin tone, it just works so marvelously well. Like when H&M started doing a lot of taupe like blazers and stuff, and like in their knitwear, I've been stocking up because a lot of the times we get creams, we get beiges, we get camels, but taupe for some reason isn't always around in the fashion world. So it's always a shade I'm looking for. Let's finish off the singles first. And I don't just have powder shadows in here because I also have some singles in like liquid format. This, again, sadly discontinued, but you can see how much I've used this, right? It's by Essence. It's the Luminous Eye Tint in the shade Shimmering Taupe. If you can still get this, in some places this may still be available, but in others it's just not. It's pretty similar to the shade Emily from the Lisa Eldridge Liquid Lurex line, but this is more cool tone, so I like it better. Emily has a little bit more golden tone to it. So here is a full-on swatch of the Essence, and I am going to like blend it out just a little bit so you can see what it like sort of diffuses into. Again, it's a little bit similar to Tiara, where it has a little bit more of a taupe leaning gold kind of situation going on, but this is really pretty. It's incredibly budge proof. I bought a backup of this. I never buy backups, but this is one where I was like, they're probably going to discontinue it, and I love it so much. When this first came out, the only eyeshadow I traveled with was this. Speaking of travel eyeshadows, I have my little Trini London duo here, and I am going to swatch both shades because I believe on the website both of these are called a taupe, but this is just to show you that some taupes can be a little bit more warm toned. I wear Mystery the most, which is the one at the top here. Really, really beautiful, and this is a little bit more golden toned as well. This is currently my favorite eyeshadow to travel with because it's just so easy to use. I hope I'm swatching this in a logical spot. Oh, I'm not. Like, it's, again, a little bit like brown, gray. It even has like a little bit of a hint of green, but it definitely has more of that golden tone to it. And these feel really smooth. And what I like about these is that these set themselves. You don't even need a primer with this. This one is a little bit deeper and a little bit more gray leaning, and this is Magician, and you can see I've used that as well. I use it a little bit less than I do Mystery, because Mystery, when it's like sheared out with a fluffy brush, it's just my perfect one and done shadow. But because this is a little bit deeper, and that's something you will see as we go along this little selection I have for you, taupes can also be really smoky shades. So I'll have a couple of those in here as well, just to show you the full array. But then you can just see like, this has a little bit more depth compared to Mystery, and it's a little bit more gray leaning, but essentially they feel pretty similar. And with this, you can sheer it out to, again, be that one and done, but it's going to give a little bit more definition to your eyes. So this little combo I travel with, or I take Mystery by itself. Sometimes I'll use some of like my ColourPop Super Shocks with it, or I just use a little bit of a Victoria Beckham eyeliner, like one of their Kohl Kajals. I'll throw that on there, and it's a super quick and easy eye look, and that's what I like when I'm traveling. I don't want to sit there with brushes and create looks. I just want to get out the door and do my trip. Not sure these are still around, because these were supposed to be limited edition, but then they were really popular, so they brought them back. But I feel like these only are brought back for the festive season, so I'm not sure if it's currently in stock. But it's by Charlotte Tilbury, and it's the Pop Shot in the shade Smoky Quartz. Here we come in with a shade that is a little bit deeper, but this is so beautiful. I have decluttered so many of my Charlotte Tilbury products over the years, but this is one I just can't do it. I don't wear this too often because it is a little bit deeper. It's a very similar shade to Victoria Beckham's Mink, which I didn't select for today's video because I was like, I already have plenty. But that's another shade that's really pretty. That's even deeper than this. But what makes this special, you can see it has that almost like rosy bronze sort of thing, and then it has the gray, and then it has really beautiful silver sparkles. It's very pretty. It's a little bit more smoky. It's deeper than anything I've shown you so far. Speaking of shades that are related to shrooms, mushrooms, that sort of thing, Mushroom from Urban Decay. This is a shade I was lusting after for so many years, and then I finally found it last November. Here it is. It's, again, a little bit deeper. It's more of a satin, I feel, but this is so beautiful. This together with Space Cowboy, it's a look. So I did buy those together, so that's why I was pairing them together. And this is definitely a little bit more gray leaning compared to everything we've done so far. So it's like grayish, it's got a hint of brown, whereas other things are like brown with a hint of gray. This is the other way around, and you can see it has that satin sort of shimmer. So it's very versatile. You can use it to smoke things out. You can use it on the lower lash line. It's very blendable and easy to build, but you can shear this out to create a one and done if you want to. And finally, a slightly more affordable option is shade 6 from the Kiko Milano Water Shadows. This is the newer edition, and this is a little bit more brown toned. The previous taupe shades that Kiko has done have been a little bit more gray leaning. I really enjoy this. It's really, really beautiful. I believe the shade name is just called Taupe, but one of my gripes with Kiko is that they don't really put the shade names of the products onto their packaging, which is a bit of a shame. They only list it on the website. But here is Kiko Water Shadow in the number 6 shade in the new formula. This, when you apply it dry, it's very sheer, but that's why these are called water shadows. These are water activated. So if you want to wear these as like a liner, or you want to make them more intense, you do have ways of playing with this eyeshadow to create many different looks, which is one shade, which is why they are some of my favorite one and done shadows as well. And then we get to the palettes. So I've got quite a big stack here. Again, some of these have been discontinued like with the singles, but I have some drugstore options in here as well that I really wanted to share with you. I feel like this shade in the Andromeda Skies from MUA is a really good like drugstore option for a very intense, shimmering, deeper taupe shade. I do feel that this palette isn't as deep on the eyes than what it looks like in the pan. The white background in the packaging kind of throws you off, but this is really beautiful. It's very intense. It's a little bit deeper than anything we've talked about so far. And this is sort of that perfect minky kind of shade. This is why I skipped the Victoria Beckham one, because I was like, this is really good too. And this does have a little bit of a red undertone. That's why I call it like minky. Here it is. It's really, really beautiful. Again, super high shine shimmer. But what's so special about this is that in certain lighting, it looks like it's got a lilac blue sort of flash, especially if you build it up a lot. So I really enjoy that. This isn't the best for shearing out because it's quite a creamy formula. So I do feel you have less control, and it is best to apply this with fingers to get the full effect that you might want. But these are cheap as chips. These little 5 pans from MUA are like £3 at the UK drugstore. They may not be available to everyone because they might be difficult to find if you don't have access to MUA as a brand, but they are some of the most affordable eyeshadow, and it performs like high end, and I really love this. Another little baby palette, because I don't feel you need to buy the bigger size of this. If they still do this, if they currently only have the bigger size in stock, then you can do that as well, because I feel these shades are exactly the same, whether you're buying the Petit Four Lilas or the bigger Lilas Étendues that they released at the end of 2025. I'm of course talking about Viseart. This is some of the best eyeshadow, like same with Sydney Grace in terms of formula. This is really incredibly like smooth, buttery to play with. Blends itself pretty much, and the shimmers in here are really lovely, and I've always appreciated both of these shades, but you can see which one I've used the most. This one at the bottom is one of my favorites, and I feel the exact same shade is in the Lilas palette that you can buy that they've started doing. That's a 12 pan, so it's why for me the Lilas, like the bigger guy, didn't make a lot of sense. I'll put it here because it's going to be easier for me to show it, but this is beautiful. It's got this, again, this almost has like a pink, like a purpley undertone, I feel. It's a little bit more pink, and I can't really show the flash. Maybe this way. There you go. You can see how shiny this is. It feels like a satin going on, but it definitely has more of a metallic flash. And I feel that Viseart is one of the most forgiving eyeshadow formulas, also if you have wrinkly lids. And I'm wearing Viseart eyeshadow on my lids today. I'm testing out one of the new in palettes that you will have seen in a recent haul. So I'm testing those out for March. This is the Paris Étoile Nuit, or whatever it's called, Nuit Étoile, I never know. But they also did that as an 8 pan, and now they've done this as a 12 pan. And I'm really feeling this look. Nice and smoky. And then in the Glam Shop Simna Mocha, this is again a slightly more affordable brand, especially if you're in the EU. Glam Shop is Polish. I haven't bought from the website in a year, so I don't know what their shipping is like currently. And this palette was discontinued pretty quickly because they only did this for a hot minute. All of their eyeshadow palettes are limited edition, so it's sort of like buy it while stocks last, you can say. But this shade in the bottom is just one of the best taupes ever. It's just beautiful. I really, really like this. And again, it's a little bit more gray leaning. It's a little bit more cool toned. Oh yeah, that's very similar, silvery next to the Viseart. But it definitely has like a goldeny brown base, and then it has this beautiful gray silver flash. Those are my favorite taupes to wear, really. No longer available, the Moonlight, just the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight edition from Makeup by Mario. I love this thing. I was so happy to see that he came out with a cooler toned eyeshadow palette, and this taupe shimmer, it's just life. It's the formula I love. I love how much you can play with these. It's sort of like a little painter's palette in my brain. The mattes all go together really well, and they go together really well with the shimmers. Like, this has so much going for it, and this is so beautiful. And I'm going to show this to you on my finger as well, because I don't think just swatching it is going to do it justice, because you need to sort of see this in action. There's so many like different levels of sparkle to this. And what I love about the Makeup by Mario eyeshadow formula, especially the shimmers, is that you can apply this as a very sheer layer, and just have a wash of like shimmer all over the lid. Or you can really build it up with a finger or wet it down. A little bit like the Kiko water shadows, where you can really sort of manipulate what it looks like depending on how you're using it, and that's what I really appreciated. So this looks perhaps a little bit weak in terms of pigmentation compared to these ones, but I feel this is one of the most blendable, easy to work with formulas I've ever used. If you want something more intense, then I can recommend looking into Gloss Gods. They have a couple of stunning taupes in their palettes. My favorite is in the first gal on Jupiter, and it's right here in the bottom. It's more of a silver-leaning taupe compared to everything else that this palette has to offer, which I appreciate. It's not one of the like flaky shimmers that the palette has, but there are definitely options. And this is just absolutely stunning. We all know, oh, this is going to look very silvery compared to everything else I've shown you so far. It's very sort of mirror-like, but you can see that it definitely, especially when the light doesn't hit it, it has a little bit more of like a brown undertone. But then when the light hits it, you can see that it has this like really beautiful silvery mirror-like shine. I don't know what magic is in this eyeshadow. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it looks gorgeous on the lids. Look at how intense this swatch is on the finger still. I only applied a touch of it to my arm or to my finger to swatch this, and it's so buttery smooth and creamy. When it comes to super intense formulas, I don't always like them because they can be a little bit more difficult to work with. But the Gloss Gods one is one where I feel the pigment is here and the blendability and ease of use is also here. So for me, it's a match made in heaven. Now, what if you're in the US and you want something slightly more affordable, or if you just want a eyeshadow palette that has a gorgeous taupe in, that has some other really beautiful cool tones that you can use as well? It's the Twilight palette from ColourPop. I really, really like this. And the minute I used this, I clocked this taupe as being one of my new favorites. So I just had to put it in here. If I ever go back to this palette, which I think I'll do sometime this year, this is going to be the shade I go back to all the time. It's super intense, really creamy, easy to work with, easy to blend. This can quite possibly be one of the best eyeshadows that ColourPop has ever done in recent years. I mean, look at how gorgeous that is. It's stunning. And no, I need to turn it that way. Oh, there's not as much light as I had wanted today. It's very foggy, and there isn't a lot of sun like we've had all week. We've had really nice weather, and then the day I need to film, it's not there. But this is, again, a little bit more of a gray base. It's a little bit deeper. It has beautiful silver sparkle. Again, here's what's just left on my finger after swatching it. I think it's a beautiful shade, but it still feels very buttery smooth, and it's very creamy and easy to blend. So no notes. Now, what if you like something a little bit more intense, a little bit more flaky? The Barely Basics by Glaminatrix, again, no longer around, I believe, has this beautiful shimmer in. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is, again, a little bit more on the golden tone side. I had a look at some of my other Glaminatrix eyeshadow palettes, and I felt that this one came closest to a taupe, but this is by far the most coppery thing that I'm showing you here today. So it's beautiful. It's got a little bit more of a shimmering like quality to it than other things. It's got a little bit more glitter, but it's beautiful, and I really love the dime size palettes from Glaminatrix. I'm very curious to see what the shimmers are like in the new Old Soul. Very, very curious to see if there's any good taupes in there. The smaller palette from Cosmic Beauty, this shade right down here. There are other taupey leaning shades in here, but this one is my favorite. I think it's actually called Smolder, yes. And this is really special because it seems to have like different types of reflects in there. I can't really describe it all that well. It has this very deep grayish brown base, but then it has gold and silver reflects in it, at least I feel. It's very dimensional. It's really pretty. This in a smoky eye, oh, it's just gorgeous. It's just absolutely stunning. Oh, there we go. If I turn my hand a little bit more this way, you can see the shine this has. Really beautiful, but it definitely has a much deeper base than a lot of the things I've shown you. So when it comes to taupe eyeshadow, you just have so many options. You can go a little bit more lighter and ethereal, very high shine shimmer. It can have a gray undertone. It can have more of a brown undertone. It can pull a little bit more golden or bronzy. Sometimes there can be like a minky purpley quality to it. It can have a rose gold, rosy sort of undertone to it. It can even have sometimes a little bit of green in there as well, or just be a little bit more silver leaning. So taupe can go into many different directions. And these are all of the eyeshadows that I wanted to share with you today. I think these are all absolutely stunning, really, really gorgeous. Here again, all of those swatches that I've done so far in this video for you. This is all of the singles are here, and then I believe this is a palette, and then here are the other shades from the palette that I've selected for this video. So yeah, taupe eyeshadow and me, we love each other. These are definitely not going to be the final taupe eyeshadows in my makeup collection for sure. I love these. I just think it's such a good one, and a lot of my favorite one and dones are in this section. So if you were looking for a good one and done eyeshadow, then maybe this video was helpful as well. But as you can see with some of these like deeper things as well, it doesn't have to be like a true one and done. You can add depth and dimension to a taupe, and that's why like taupe is just such a versatile color, I feel. So like I even have it in my home decor now, come to think of it. I've got taupe bathroom tiles. There's a little bit of taupe somewhere in my life, you could say. So yeah, thank you so very much for watching this video today. Check back for more if you want to see more by me. I do post 4 times a week over on this channel, all about makeup and beauty. I post once a week on my second channel, which is called Floating in Books, and you can find the link to that in the description box down below. And on there, I tend to post about fashion, books, lifestyle-y things, some vlogs from time to time if I'm traveling, so that's where all the other content goes. And then you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok if you want other content as well. TikTok, I don't post on there very often, but if I post anything like about my day-to-day life, it's on there. And then on TikTok, I tend to post about coloring, which I hadn't done a lot of over the winter time because I had done so much coloring in the fall time that I just needed a break, and now I'm like really nicely like sliding back into my coloring journey, which I'm really enjoying as well. So you can follow me on loads of different platforms, and all those links are in the description box down below as well. And I hope to see you again really, really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.